Well, good morning. How are you doing there? My name is Christine and I shall be your Google Digital Garage trainer for the morning. So what do you need to know this morning? Well, first up, I'm sure you're aware, but this is the 5th webinar in our series in collaboration with the Irish SME Association. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far. You can feel free to watch the past webinars, any you've missed, on the ISME YouTube channel, and you can register for the next in the series, which is all about how to shop local. We'll be looking at how to safely reach local customers and get your business visible online. All of the details are linked in the description. Now, as I say, my name is Christine and I'm one of the trainers here on Google's digital skills training program, the Google Digital Garage. I'm a marketeer by trade and I have been involved in marketing since before digital was even a thing. So I have been privileged to work as part of the Google Digital Garage since 2015 and worked with lots of local businesses, lots of people just looking to get to grips with the digital world. Alongside me today, I have another digital marketing whiz. I've got Amy. Amy's also one of our Google Digital Garage coaches, and she's going to be interacting with you and answering some of your questions via the instant chat, which I think is probably on the right there. You can tell you're speaking to the moderator. First of all, she's called Amy. Second, and she's the one with all the info and all the answers. And secondly, she has a little blue spanner next to her name that shows that let's face it, she's in charge of what you guys are up to. She's in charge of what I'm up to. She's keeping everything together this morning. Few little bits of housekeeping. Any trouble viewing the webinar, best thing to do is just try refreshing that page. That will help you. If you want to join in that instant chat, and I really hope you do, Amy has got so much information to share with you, and she'll be able to take you through and help you with any questions you have as we go through. So you're going to need to be signed into a YouTube account. You can easily set one up if you don't have one already by clicking up on the box on the right there. It's also where you go if you do have an account and you're not signed in right at this moment. And it's really important you do so because I'm going to be pausing throughout the session and answering some of those more interesting questions coming through from the chat box. So any Amy thinks that would be great for the whole group to hear, that are on topic related to what we're talking about today, because I know we've spoken about a lot of things over the last few weeks, but we'll be focusing in on Google Ads today. So any questions you've got, fire them in, and we'll pause as we go through so we can take some of those questions from the audience, which is kind of a keep the trainer on her toes moment. If you want to check out what's coming up, we've got our upcoming webinar training. That's information on that's in the description below. Also, feel free to share your experiences on social media. Tell your friends, your family, your colleagues about these webinars using the hashtag Digital Garage. Also, feel free to check out the new Google for Small Business website. That's your one-stop shop for the products, tools, and training you're going to need to help your business move forward. We've built a simple step-by-step online success guide, which will help you show up on Google, create or improve your website, reach more customers, and build loyalty, and work effectively from anywhere. Amy, could you share the link to that in the chat for me, please? Or you should be able to get the link from the description box at any time. Finally, if you've got any feedback from today's session, please complete the feedback form. That's linked down in the description box. And once you complete the feedback form, you can get a link that will appear for you to download a PDF of today's content. Okay, that's the housekeeping done, I think. Let's take a moment. Why don't you, if you haven't already, sign into the chat and say hi to Amy. Maybe let Amy know where you're joining us from today. That will be great to know, and maybe a little bit, just a small snippet about your business or why you are here today, whether it's your first of these sessions or whether you're a veteran and you've been through all of the sessions so far with us today. Because what we're going to talk about today is Google Ads, so online advertising. So I'll start with an introduction to online advertising. You'll have seen online ads everywhere, but now we're going to go behind that curtain and have a look and see what's, have a good look at the landscape, what's going on, and why you might want to use them. Then we'll take a look at how Google Ads works. I'm going to go an overview here. And then, really importantly, we'll go into more specifics. We'll deep a little bit dig a little bit deeper into how you can go about advertising with Google Ads and how you can reach your customers. There's different ways to reach customers at different stages of their buying journeys, their decision-making journeys. And depending on what you want to achieve as a business, there are different campaigns, different campaign types that you might want to look at. So we will take some time and start quite high level, but by the end we'll be getting quite deep into some of those strategic points for you. Okay, and as I mentioned, we're going to be pausing for those question and answers as we go through, so do feel free to pop any questions you have into that live chat. So let's start with an introduction. So good place to start, really. Online advertising has been around for a very long time. Kind of as almost probably just behind how long the internet's been around. And businesses, large and small, do use Google Ads to get themselves found. So Google Ads can get you into the search results page. It's probably the way most people, the first thing you would think when you think about Google Ads would be a search ad. I type in a question, some answers come back, some of which of them are ads, but it's deeper than that, because you don't just have to appear on the search results page itself. Using Google Ads, you can appear on other people's websites, you can appear in videos, you can appear in apps, you can appear in lots of different places. Now, I'm sure you understand that advertising, if you've got a strong business reason for doing so, advertising can really help you get found. And really, for most businesses nowadays, to get new customers, they want to be found online, because the majority of people are hanging out on the internet. And how much they're hanging around on the internet is heading north all the time. One study published in January of last year estimated that the average person spent 6 hours and 42 minutes online every single day. Now, what are we doing when we're online? That's not just going and searching for things, it's browsing, it's hanging out on social media, it's doing work, maybe looking at other websites, getting our information, getting our news, working out where we want to go, what products we want to buy. We're living online. And the data backs us up with this. And think of your own day. How many times do you pick up a mobile phone and quickly look for something? How many answers to questions do you get as we go through? We do not have, I've got 3 brothers. When we get together, which obviously we can't quite at the moment, but when we do get together, we don't argue so much anymore, because we can always find the answer as we go. So we do spend a crazy amount of time online, which means as a business, if you want to find customers, if you want to get yourself found, online is going to be a great place to do it. Now, you'll sometimes see marketing or digital, when you're learning these things, you'll sometimes see them represented in a nice straight line. So you need to, a customer journey would be, you need to get them to know who you are, then you need to get them to like who you are, then you need to, and it follows down in a nice, simple, easy funnel. But life isn't like that. Life is so much more complex than that. So imagine a scenario that may well happen. Let's think that somebody wakes up in the morning, pops the kettle on, goes to the fridge to get the milk to go in their cup of tea, and the fridge isn't cold. Okay, so something happens. This is some kind of a trigger, a stimulus. Something happens in somebody's life that means they're going to need to find out some information. They're going to need to start finding maybe a product, maybe a service, maybe a business to help them. Think about humans, think about their behavior. The first thing they might do, so here we are, I found out the food not cold. When I've gone to the milk, it's not cold enough. So the first thing you might do is jump on search and think about, okay, I can't ring my dad to come and fix it for me at the minute, but I know that there might be a simple thing I can do. Might be just a reset of a fuse or a flick of a switch that's going to help me to get it fixed. So the first thing I might do is I'll take out my phone and search. I'll look for ways to fix my fridge. I'd start by finding the model number of the fridge is how I would do it, and look for the user manuals for some troubleshooting. Ask some questions. All right. Then what happens? I'll read an article. Now, bear in mind by this point, we might now be getting on to a point where, okay, I actually have to start getting some work done. So I don't then just follow all these things through straight away in a block of time. These searches and this behavior might be strung out all across my day as I can find a chance to do it. So I might start by looking on my phone. I might bookmark an article about, how to read about going to fix a fridge. And I might then, by the time I get to work, I might then jump onto my computer and be looking it up and looking and seeing if I can I don't have the right bits, I don't have the right tools to fix the fridge, but I think I might have found a way to do it. And then so I'll investigate how much the parts would be to fix it, to buy it, to fix it myself. So then I might watch a video. Lots of YouTube videos. How to is one of the most searched for terms on YouTube. How to knit, how to fix a car, how to learn Japanese. Okay, so if, for instance, I owned a store with appliance repairing, and knowing that somebody had started to search for broken appliances and search for how to fix these things, might be a good place to start thinking about, okay, well, you're searching for how to fix something. At some point, you're local to me, you might well need my services. So it might be that I can create an interesting article that would be found when people are looking for how to fix fridges and things. Then as people come to my website, they might learn more. So as I say, I might then watch my video, because I don't know what these parts look like that it's telling me in the text. And those videos tell 1,000 words. But as I go on, I'm probably, if I can't ring my dad to come and fix it, the next thing I'm realistically going to be doing is get a hold of myself. I might try and fix it and make it worse. Or I might just throw up my hands, think this is going to cost me more in buying new parts, replacing the contents of the fridge, and I still don't have a fridge yet. So maybe I'm going to search again and find somebody who can come and do it for me, somebody local, somebody who advertises that they can come quickly and have, carry the parts on the van. They don't need to be waiting around for these parts. They already have the tools. They already have the know-how. They already know what the clogged coil is going to look like. So the other thing I might be looking at that point is, well, pricing it up. It might be a new fridge actually becomes a viable option. So, I might be investigating that as well. So what I'm trying to get here is, and I mean, even now we've put it as a wiggly line, but a line nonetheless. I think you can quite often think of customer journeys as more like a ball of string all twisted up and wrapped up together. But there are pointers along the way that are going to be interesting touch points for you to make yourself visible. Okay? So think about it for yourself. Have you been online this morning already? What were you doing? What were you thinking? Have you run a search for something? Have you read a blog, watched a video? What do you do? How are you going to spend some of that time that you do online? How would you go about fixing the same problem? You might be super handy. What I'm trying to get you to do is think like a customer. Every time that there's a human being who might need the kinds of products or services that you offer, How are they going to be behaving? What is it that triggers them to needing you? What are the sorts of things they might search for? How will they go about getting that kind of information? Okay, because customers don't just do a simple search and get to the answer they need straight away. Behavior is more complex than that. We're going to look at different sources, potentially even on different devices in different ways. We might look on YouTube, we might read an article. We're looking in different places. So it's not all about straight lines, but there's lots of things we can do. So we're going to think about search at the moment, because every customer journey, every device, search is, well, my theory on it is it's probably quite badly named. A search engine is actually a find engine. People are going on there to find things quickly. And most online business activity, even if it's not on a search engine, we search in social media, we search within web pages, we are searching and asking questions all the time. So as a business owner, who tends to be your website owners as well, business owners, website owners need to make sure that your site is a viable destination for searches that are relevant. Okay, so by a viable result, it's about being useful. It's about being a good answer to the questions being asked. One thing we're going to come on to when we're looking at ads is ads, whether you're being found in natural search or in paid search, you have to be a good answer to the question. That's how you get found. Okay, so it's all about being useful. It's all about being found when you're there. And this is what we're saying about this timing. Okay, so imagine these searches happen. This is an iterative process of search. So we start with, why is my refrigerator warm at just gone 7 a.m? Worst time to find a problem like this. So then they go, right, how do I fix it? What's wrong with it? Ask the questions, ask the questions. They work out it's a coiling coil video. We're now almost an hour later. I still haven't had a cup of tea. This is not going to be a good day. There's a used ratchet step for sale. Buy cheap wire strippers. How to strip a wire. Can you see the time there? I've gone to find where I might buy it. I might have found it locally. And then I go, okay, I need to strip a wire. How do I know if I need stitches? You can see what's going on in the human behavior, because maybe buying a wire stripper and attempting to do it myself wasn't a good idea. At least it's only stitches and not electrocuting myself. So now I'm looking for refrigerator reviews for a new fridge. Then I'm looking at refrigerator prices. I've decided it's too much, so I'm going to look for a local refrigerator repair. So it's taken me from 7 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock to make all those changes and decide that I want to be found. Okay. So as a business owner, the more relevant your website is, the better an answer you are to the questions being asked, the more likely you are to be found. Okay. That's really important, but don't just jump in at the compare refrigerator prices. If you can have been found earlier in the process, then that's going to help you to be a good, trusted source of information. So it's not all about the sell. It's about how you can surround your potential customers with information that might be useful to them at all those different stages. Okay, now we're going to talk about online advertising, and it's actually ideal for businesses both large and small. I think sometimes smaller businesses are a little bit afraid of it. They think it's something that's not for them, or it's going to take a lot of time and be very expensive. But actually, for a small business, the best part about online advertising is just how accountable it is. The value that it brings can be tracked, can be measured, can be experimented with. If I try this, what happens? You can trace those clicks all the way through. And so long as you get your processes right, you can go right from, I've spent this much in advertising and I've realized this much in sales. Was it worth it or not? And then you do your business maths thing. And the proof's there in the results. If the campaign's not effective, it's very easy to find out. There's no hiding place there. So what do? You test something, you try something. You control the budget, so you're always in control of what's being spent, which is hugely important. There again, for those smaller businesses, smaller and medium-sized businesses need to be. I mean, bigger businesses ought to be too, but especially, you can dedicate some budget to it and go and do some experiments. And you control the timings of it. You can edit it, you can pause it, you can cancel it, you can switch it on and off. So you might only want this particular ad campaign running when you're quiet. Say I had, when we allowed premises to come and visit, maybe I have a quiet night and I want to bring people in on that quiet night, but I don't want to advertise for people on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday when I'm really super busy. You can turn the ads on and off and really control them to suit you and to suit your business. So how do they actually work? I'm going to give you a quick overview, and then a little bit later, we're going to dive down quite specifically. So basically, lots of different ad types we've already started to mention that you can reach people at different stages across different areas of the web. There's a product called Google Ads that you can use to run different kinds of ad campaigns. Okay. So how do they work? It starts with, we're going to look first at the simplest way of thinking about ads to get your head around, and that's search ads. And the reason that they're so straightforward in a way is because the question gets asked, which is what's being searched for, and then you show how you're a good answer. So the question being asked, the stimulus, the desire, the need, it's quite explicit. How to fix my broken fridge, or where to buy a fridge, or local fridge repair person. These are all the kinds of searches that, with them being quite explicit, these questions that we ask, and that's how searching behavior works. We can see where we're going to be a good answer and show it. So search ads start with that human behavior, that human need, that human question. And most people will start looking for their answers online by opening up a search engine such as Google and typing in their query. Then the organic algorithm, you might have heard of these things, gets going to work and creates you that search engine results page. Okay. And it's not just giving you websites anymore. There are other resources it might be linking you into that are going to help you find your answers. Now, that's running in the background. That's running and getting you those natural search results. At the same time, but separately, the Google Ads algorithm gets to work. And that runs an auction. So advertisers bid for opportunities to show their ads. And those eligible ads, now to be an eligible ad, you have to be a good answer to the question. You cannot get away from, this is what somebody needs, this is how I'm a good answer to it. Okay? If you're in the mix as a good answer to the question being asked, then the other factors come into play. And the winners are the people who get shown. You can appear above those organic search results. There are some spots below, but you're always clearly marked with the word ad. Okay, and you'll have seen this. You'll have seen this 100 times. Maybe you've not noticed it. So become a student of search. Look at these things and see what's happening. Okay. Once you see those ads as a searcher, what do you want those humans to do? Well, you want them to take an action. And the great thing about ads is that you can track the actions people take. Maybe they see the ad and they click through and visit the website. Great. And then you can track the traffic and see how that happens in there. Maybe somebody's searching on their mobile and the action they take is to click on the phone number and come straight through to you, because the phone number on your ad is trackable. So you can see how many phone calls, how many leads, how many much potential business those ads have generated. So it's about connecting searchers with the advertiser and then getting those business results. So this is where I should really show this before I explain it all, shouldn't I? This shows where those ads might appear, and there are different kinds of ads. And different I find the search engine results page endlessly fascinating, because depending on what I search for, depending what the intent is behind my search, the page looks different. So if I were to search for a famous person, this knowledge panel at the side might be a fact file of the person. If I were to search for a place, I might get a fact file of the place. If I were to search and they think I'm looking for a business, what happens there, that knowledge panel might be for that business. It's the same with the ads. If it looks like, if the search feels like I'm looking to buy something, then you might get shopping ads across the top. And if I've set my shopping ads up right, then I'll be able to see, or my potential buyers will be able to see, that I've got stock locally of the product that they're looking for. We'll look at that in a minute. You also might get your text ads. These are the original and best, I guess. These are the ones that we're most used to seeing, clearly marked with the word ad, and then above those natural search results. The ads position on the page relative to other ads is determined by its ad rank. And the ad rank is calculated at every single search auction. It uses the amount you're prepared to bid, the quality of the ad, so things like how many people have clicked through those ads before, how relevant you are, what your landing page looks like, how it behaves. Is it easy when people get to your landing page? You don't want to just be driving ads to a page that then doesn't deliver what they need to do. So do you make it easy on your landing page for them to complete the processes that you want them to complete? Okay, so the ad rank, there's also factors like the location of the person, the device that they're searching on, the timing of the search. There's lots of different factors that are going into this. The best thing you can do is because this ad rank recalculates every single time, the best thing you can do is look to be as useful as possible and have as good a process as possible once people get to your website, okay? Because your ad position can fluctuate depending on all kinds of things. At different times of the day, there might be more or less competition. You might be deciding when you're going to bid. Other people might be deciding when they're going to bid. So it's all about the quality in that moment and the competition in that moment as to where you're going to appear, okay? But ads, using Google Ads, you can also have your ad appear on in other places. So ads can also appear on other Google sites. So things like Gmail, you might get ads in your Gmail. But there's also over 2 million non-Google websites that are part of the Google's display network. And a display ad is a bit like, I like to think of them as, like a billboard. You know, when you put a billboard up in the street, you'd hope people walk past and see it. With the display network, you can reach 90% of internet users worldwide across millions of websites, news pages, blogs, and those Google sites like Gmail and YouTube as well. And it's basically, you can make your own billboards and then tailor who you want to see them. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go through. But we're talking about pulling together the right strategy for you at the right time. And we'll talk about that as we go on through as well. So with Google Ads, you've probably heard the terms PPC, which is pay per click. So you pay when somebody clicks. You might have heard CPC, which is the cost per click. So to appear in the search results page, you pay for the results that you get. So you only pay if somebody clicks on your ad. Of course, you want people to be clicking on them. You want people to be, for you to be a great answer to the question they're asking, and then for the process on the other end to be so good that they go through and take those actions. Maybe the great thing is those phone calls that you can pay for. You know, you're paying for people to ring you up, and then once you've got them on the phone, that's when you can do your thing, but you'll be able to see how many leads are coming into you through those phone calls. The display network isn't like that. The display network has other bidding options. So display, remember, is you're paying basically for the number of pairs of eyeballs that see your ad. So as you're walking past a billboard, the display network is about getting noticed. You pay for, as I say, the number of eyeballs that see that ad. So we'll think about, you might hear the term CPM, which is the cost per 1,000 impressions, or the CPV, which is the cost per view on video ads. So there's no fees to using Google Ads. There's no, the cost comes when you actually start getting results. So really important to think that there's no startup fees, there's no cancellation fees, there's no contract. You're not bound in to continuing to use it if it's not right for you. So the great thing is, as a smaller business, you can dedicate some budget, you can test it, you can try it. If it works, then great, do more of it up till a point where you have as much business as you can handle, and at which point you can switch it off. So if you're new to Google Ads, we do have a few credit coupons available. You'd be glad to know. Amy can share those details if she hasn't already into the chat for us, if you wouldn't mind, my dear. We have got €120 ad credit for new Google Ad users in Ireland, which Amy can share. There's also a second promotion, which is if you sign up for Google Ads tips and promotions, you can get a €75 coupon. So we'll pop that in the chat along with all of the terms and conditions and things. All righty, so what we're going to do next is just pause in for questions and let's have a look what we've got. So, I can see that we've got lots of people joining us this morning. Fabulous to have you with us. I'm not sure quite who asked this, so apologies I didn't catch your name, but one of you out there is very interested in geographical targeting of items, interested in getting a rundown on how that works. So what we'll do is we are going to talk about geography a little bit as we go through. Let me cover what we cover, and if it's not what you're expecting, then let me know, and we can go a bit more specific maybe once we've been through what we got. Brilliant. Okie dokie. And then we've got Dearma, who's looking for success measures, attribution of sales. Yes, we'll be covering, it depends how deep you need to go, because this is quite a general overview session. But there again, if we've not covered it by the end, ask me a few more questions as we go through. Right, let's get into it. Let's talk about actually doing this. We're going to be looking at different types of campaigns, different reasons and objectives that you as a business might have, and how you're going to fulfill those, okay? So I want to help you. I want you to feel confident by the end that you can know which kinds of campaigns would be right for the kinds of business goals you have at the minute, okay? And then the Google Ads interface, once you're in there and you know where you're going with it, the interface will help guide you through and set that up as we go. Just a point, as I say, we're not going to go step by step into everything you need to do, because there's tons of you out there with all your own needs. The Google Ads interface does pull you through it and take you through it, but also really highly recommend checking out Google's Help Center. Nobody knows everything about everything, but when I need help and somebody says, how do you do this, Christine? I'll be like, just a second, quick to the Google Help Center. And that's where you're going to find the answers to some of those deeper questions as we go through. All right then. So there are different campaign types, as I've already started to mention. And how do you know which types are right for you? Well, let's take them through, because basically there are different campaign types, but you have different goals as a business. So the first step before you dive into creating is to think about what you want to achieve. Okay. Think about where your customers are, which on that wiggly woggly journey that we took a look at the beginning, what are the kinds of places that people will be looking for information about you, or that you could be a great answer to? What questions would they be asking in search? And why are you doing this? Really good question. And my favorite question is, so what? So every time I come up with an answer to something, I'm like, okay, so what? What does that actually mean? And when I find a piece of information, what does that mean to my business? We really need to make sure we keep tying everything back to our business objectives. Okay, so you might say, I want to make money. I want to make some more money. I want to sell some more products. I want to get some more leads. I want to find some new clients. I want to grow the business. I want to hire some new people. I might be get in a more of a charitable thing, and I want to get in donations. You can use ads for all these things. But one thing they don't, when you have a woolly objective, like I want to make some more money or I want to sell some more things, without being more specific, it's going to be very difficult to track how your actions are helping with those goals. Okay, so there are different types of campaign that we've started to talk about: search campaigns, display campaigns, video campaigns. They are all valid. They are all useful at different stages. And then depending on the goals you have, it's then about finding the right blend, the right mix of ad types, campaign types for you. So let's take a little bit of a look. Goals first. Imagine we said our goal was to just sell more refrigerators. Okay, I'm sure anybody who's ever done marketing 101 is when you make a goal, you make an objective, the narrower, the more focused you can make it, the more successful you're likely to be. And it keeps bringing you back to that, so what? Is this helping? Is this going to get me? So instead of just selling more refrigerators, we can use the SMART framework. And that makes your goal more actionable, more focused, more specific. And in fact, the first S for SMART, so we've got something that's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive or time bound. So S for specific, is it detailed? So how many more refrigerators is more? What kinds of refrigerators? Do you want to spell the basic, or actually, I want to send more of the luxury, the high end, the ones I make more profit on? Okay, so specifically, how detailed is the goal? So and that's often a how many question. How much, how many? Then measurable, super important that you can actually measure what you're doing. Now, the great thing about being online is the measurability. How will you know when you've accomplished your goal? So if I know I need to sell 30 refrigerators, once I get into selling them offline or online, I should be able to measure which are online, which are offline. But actually much deeper than that, if I connect my Google Ads into my Google Analytics, so if I'm selling things online, my Google Analytics are going to help me measure it. It might be that I'm using an e-commerce platform. I can tie my e-commerce platform into my Google Analytics so I can see for these ads, this is what I spent, and I'll measure it through, and this is what I sold. Your measurement might be to, instead of more sales, your measurement might be, I want to get more leads, because until I get more leads, I can't work my magic and convert them. So your specific goal might be, I want to get 20 phone calls this month. And how do you attribute those through and measure those? And that's when it's a great idea that if you have your phone number on your ad, you'll be able to see those phone calls coming through. Is it attainable? And only you'll know that. I mean, if you said, my specific goal is to sell 1 million refrigerators. Well, if I've only sold 5 in the last 3 years, then that's probably not attainable. So maybe I'll be looking to move it on to 10. But rather than, don't just pull the numbers out of the air, base them in some fact, base them on, okay, I'm going to do a 10% uplift or a 20% uplift because this is what I've sold before. This is how I did it. This is what's changing in the market. Put some structure around those goals as well. You can always adjust them later. These aren't set in stone. The worst kind of marketing goal or business objective is one that gets written once and then popped in a drawer and forgotten about. Okay. Is it relevant? Is it relevant to your business? Is it going to help you achieve your business goals? Does it drive the business results? Is it going to give you enough sales to make sure you can pay the wages this month? And finally, T is for time. You know, when do you want to achieve this goal by? I like to have for my business, you know, short-term, medium-term and longer-term goals. So yes, my goal might eventually be to get to 1 million. Right, how are we going to break that down? How are we going to, there's a lovely phrase I used to look at, you can't boil the ocean in one go, but you can boil a cup of water in a go. So you boil the ocean is too big a problem. Whereas taking a cup of water, doing that well, boiling that well, and then moving on to the next cup is a really good way to have continuous improvements. Okay. So it might be, let's have this time frame. Even though my long-term goal is to be a 1 million selling refrigerator empire, my goal for May is to sell 25 refrigerators, because I sold 15 in April, and I think I'm on a roll. I can get this thing done. Okay. And I want to do them online. I'm going to measure them. I'm going to use these tools and make sure that I can follow the whole process all the way through, so I know when I'm winning and I know how to fix it if I'm not. With your time frame, keep them quite short, as I say, because then you'll be able to review as you go, because these goals aren't set in stone forever. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. Our working example goal is that 25 refrigerators online in May. So it's a drive sales goal. All right. So when you create a campaign in Google Ads, you'll see options to select a goal. So the goal you select in Google Ads should match up with the goal that you want to achieve for your business. And you can see that sales is one of the options. We also have leads, website traffic, brand awareness and reach, and app promotion. Okay, the user interface drives you through and pulls you through these processes. It really is, even if you tried Google Ads even a year or two ago, it's come on leaps and bounds in usability recently. Okay, so there are different ways that you can reach a sales. Let's just focus in on sales goals. Goal number 1, we want to sell some things. When you want to sell some things, the recommended ways you might choose to go about increasing your sales go across the Google Ads assets. So you might look at search campaigns. You might want to look at display campaigns. Search campaigns, display campaigns, shopping campaigns. Obviously, if I want to sell something and it's a physical something that I can send out to, or they can come and collect, then a shopping campaign might be a great way for you to go about it. We'll talk about all of these different campaign types as we go through. And also video campaigns can help you sell things. So say a sales campaign is pretty much the easiest to understand. I have this budget. I have these goals. I want to sell some things. And you can use all of the different tools in the Google Ads toolkit to achieve that goal. As I say, we're going to look at all 5 goal types as we go through this section. And we'll also look in a bit more detail at each of those campaign types. Okay, so use campaigns to reach your goal. And this is where we blend together our strategy. So let's think about, it's actually an option I didn't list, and that's called smart campaigns. So sorry about that, but smart campaigns are a great way to take some of the legwork away for smaller businesses. Okay, so smart campaigns designed specifically for smaller businesses that want to promote products and services online. So just as before, you choose your goal. So that might be more calls, more actions, more store visits. And then it takes only a few minutes to set up an ad campaign. You have less customizability, if that's a word, but you can get going quicker because basically it reduces the options for you and helps you down the route that we think is probably the most, is going to be the easiest way for you. So a big advantage basically of smart campaigns is a lot of the work of managing the campaign is automated. So for instance, with an ordinary campaign, you come up with lists of keywords. With a smart campaign, those search phrases, those keywords are actually developed for you. They're generated from the information that you provide, things like what's on your website, what you want to achieve. You can disable those, they call them search phrases. But if you want to get up and running quickly and maybe just start getting going without having to learn so much, then smart campaigns are a great way. The ads compete with other ads in the Google Ads auction in the exact same way, but instead of you having to control lots of different things, you are funneled down a few simple steps to get yourself up and running. Okay. So how to go about setting up a smart campaign? There's just 5 steps to do it, which makes it a great time-saving way for smaller businesses, local business to get going. So you choose what your goal is. You decide where geographically. So we've already had some questions about geographic targeting. You choose where the person is standing with their mobile phone, the kinds of areas they're standing in geographically when your ads appear. You describe the product or service that you're trying to advertise. So this is where using those good words come in, those really good descriptions, and thinking to what the customers might be searching for, what's going on in their lives. Then you write your ad, you set your budget, and you hit launch. And then the machine learning helps that along and optimizes it for you as you go. As I say, fewer options means you can get set up running quicker. If you want to go more in depth, then you're going to be looking at setting up your own campaigns and tinkering with lots of different places. But I bet there are a lot of businesses out there that don't sell products and services. You can't box up what you do and send it out. So maybe you are a refrigerator repairer, okay? But you don't sell the refrigerator, so it's not as simple as a quick, simple, easy sale. Maybe it is you do sell those refrigerators, but they're really expensive. So people aren't going to just do a simple transaction. There's more to it. There's much more involvement from you as you go along. So if that's the case, then your goals might include lead generation. Now, things about lead generation might be getting a phone call, getting a request for a quote, somebody to book an appointment with you, somebody to fill out your form. Think about where you're going to take them once you have generated that interest or found that interest. And there again, with lead generation campaigns, so there's a campaign type of lead generation. So we're not trying to just sell things, but we recommend search, display. You can use shopping ads for lead generation, but it might be a few more steps in there, and or video campaigns. So there again, we've got the full portfolio of campaign types can help you reach that lead generation goal. All right. So let's take a bit of a look at another campaign type. One we're most familiar with, we've spoken about a lot already, but search campaigns. So with a search campaign, somebody types into Google, a text ad can appear above and below those organic search results. But 100% remember that your ad can only show where you are relevant, if you are a great answer to that question, okay? So if I'm selling refrigerators and somebody searches for cheap holidays, I'm not going to be shown, okay? I wouldn't be able to buy my way into that list. And top tip is the more relevant you are, the likely lower spend you'll have to make. So it's really, really important to think about those words and those longer phrases that people might be searching for and how you're a really good answer to the questions that they're asking, okay? So we know where text ads appear, and we know that we can basically, the campaign type is search campaign, all right? Now, here are some text ads. Here's example 1. You'll probably have seen this, all right? So this text ad has 3 parts. It's got its big headline in blue. It's got the URL it goes to, or the URL it wants displaying in green. And then it's got a description. And the description should include this: shop now, a call to action. What do you want somebody to do when they see your ad? Because people are super used to just doing what they're told. Okay. Now look at this one. This is the same ad. It's still the same headline. It's still the same URL. But look what we've got now. We've got a phone number. We've got some ratings. We've got the reviews. We've got still the same headline. Sorry, still the same description. Great deals on brand name refrigerators at your local shop now. We've got our call to action. But below all that, we've got more things. We've got contact us, track your order, financing, lots and lots of extra information. And all of that extra information, there's no charge to including it. And it's made that ad bigger. So how have they done that? These are called extensions. And if you are running ads, please, please, please look at adding the information that's relevant to you that might make you extensions. The extensions won't always appear, but the more info you have, the more likely you are. And the best thing about extensions, so for example, here we've got, the phone number. Fantastic. People can call us straight from there. Some of them will be added automatically if they're going to predict. Basically, go to the extensions area and as many pieces of information that could be relevant to your ads as possible. Okay, because extensions make your ad bigger, so you take up more of the space. People can see that they can, I want to contact you, I want to track my order. These are the sort of things. I can go straight to the store locations. It's linked into my Google My Business and I know what time I'm open. Okay. It won't guarantee it's shown all the time, but it gives you this chance to take up more of the real estate of the page, and add extensions for that little bit of work of setting them up can make you more click-throughable, which there again probably isn't a word, but we'll go with it for now. Okay, let's have a look. We've got a quick pause for questions. So Dermot asks, does a Google Smart campaign do a bit of brand building and a bit of selling? You could do that, absolutely. Brand building, I'd be looking at maybe more onto the display network, but the search ads in the selling area, they can absolutely help you with. All right, so let's jump through. I want to go back to the rest of the goals now. So you might be a publisher. Maybe you don't sell things yourself, but you've got content. And the content might be things like articles on how-tos. Okay, so instead of just selling things or creating leads, maybe your goal is to bring people to your website, attract that website traffic. Okay, and if you do, then that's what your goal is. I want to bring people to my website. I select the campaign type of website traffic. And there again, you can use the full search, display, shopping and video campaigns to bring people and accomplish that. Now, we've mentioned display a couple of times. I just want to quickly show you how display works in the Google Ads platform. Okay, so remember, display ads promote your business when people are doing other things. They are browsing elsewhere. They are watching YouTube. So this is where, for Dermot, brand building, display campaigns can be really good because they can get you noticed before people know who you are, before they're ready to take that step. And this, you can still use your location targeting. So you can target people just nearby to you, which is where it's fantastic for smaller businesses, for local businesses. Okay, so you can capture that attention nice and early in the buying cycle and get those ads before people are actually ready to take that action. Okay, so they are really good across your different types of objectives. As we've seen, they're in pretty much every single one. Okay. And here are some examples. We've seen this already, but your display ad might show your ad alongside somebody else's website. So maybe somebody's reading about how to fix a refrigerator, and my ad for refrigerator repair appears next to that article that says this is how you go about doing it. Because let's face it, most people who search for how-tos may at some point say, how to sounds way too complicated. I want to go and get somebody in to do it. Okay, so there's lots of different ways you can target them. Geographic, context, what they're reading. You can target by the different audience types, so on their interests, on the demographics. There's lots of ways going about it. So think about what you know about those people, all right, and then see how you can target those ads to them. And we've popped 4 and 5 together. So that's product and brand consideration and brand awareness and reach. So you might select product and brand consideration if your goal is to encourage potential customers to consider you when they're doing that research, when they're shopping for that fancy fridge. You might use the campaign to engage with people who've demonstrated interest in your brand before and consider bringing them through those campaigns. So what we're saying here is they are not searching for you directly. They're that bit before they're ready to take that action. So remember that wiggly woggly route that the people were taking through? They're earlier in that decision-making process. Okay, so you might want to use display because people don't know about you yet, but they're reading about it, so they see you around. You might also want to look at video. We'll talk about video, I think, in just a second. In fact, here, yes. So let's just have a think about video campaigns. Let you show video ads either on their own or within other people's streaming content. And that's both within YouTube and across the Google Display Network. It seems so sophisticated, but actually the setup's pretty straightforward. You can use videos from your own YouTube account. And like other campaign types, you can see how the ads are performing and you can tweak the targeting. And video ads can run across all those different objectives you might have. Video ads are worth having a look and see. So you might have seen these kinds. There are 5 available video ad formats. Very briefly, you have in-stream ads, which run before, during, or after other videos. So you're watching a video, another ad, video's paused with an ad, or there's an ad at the beginning of the video and it runs through. So ads can be skipped after 5 seconds. So if that's the case, make sure you get your compelling message into those first 5 seconds. Make them want to see the rest. Video discovery ads appear on YouTube only, and they're seen in places where people discover content. So somebody's out and about just browsing and searching and discovering, a discovery ad might be seen there. Outstream ads show on partner sites, and outstream ads are available on mobile devices and tablets. There are non-skippable in-stream ads, which are 15 seconds or fewer, and viewers can't skip the ad. Okay. And 5 bumper ads that they're designed to increase brand awareness. They're 6 seconds or less, and viewers can't skip them. So whenever you're thinking about that, think about how compelling your message can be and when you're going to have your call to action. Don't have a 15-second ad with a call to action at the end if they can skip it after 5 seconds. Make sure you're front loading and using those time constraints. So if you sell products online and offline, there's one more campaign type that might be of interest, and that's shopping campaigns. Okay. And remember where I showed those shopping ads can appear? So you'll see shopping ads on Google Search, Images, Google Shopping, YouTube. When people are searching for products you sell, those ads can appear, and you will only pay when people click through to find out more. So we've seen these shopping ads. Okay, you'll see them everywhere now that you go, much more than a text ad. And how you get them, if you have a product catalog, if you sell some things, then you might want to look at doing shopping ads. You can link basically your catalog, so what your product is, the photos of your product, and then even linking into some of those. The in-store shows that you've got it in stock and locally where it is. So shopping ads use product data, not keywords, to show your ads. So you need to maintain a product database. Okay. So how you do it is you use the Google Merchant Center, and you create, the Google Merchant Center holds all your product information, and then you create a campaign in Google Ads, which is a shopping campaign that pulls the info in from it. Okay. So first up, create your Merchant Center account. There's no charge to do so. And you don't need to advertise your products to use it. But the Merchant Center is like a data warehouse where it has your product images, it has your inventory, it has all kinds of info about those products. You'll need that to then pull into your shopping campaigns. So bob into your Google Ads account, sign in if you've got one, sign up if you don't, and set up a shopping campaign. So for a shopping ad, there's that extra bit of info of you have to provide the product catalog, or how will we know what you've got to sell? Okay. If you want to do that thing of promoting local inventory, so what you've got going on and when, then use your Google My Business account. No charge to set one up if you don't have one already, and connect it into your Google Ads account. And that's where we get the absolute magic, because you can say, I'm a local business and I've got your product in stock right now. Okay. So, just about out of time. Apologies for that. We remembered that people spend time online, so businesses can be there to be found. Google Ads can help you in so many places to do so. Best way to go about it is work out what you want to achieve as a business and then use goals to help you craft your mix of what you want to achieve. Okie dokie. So questions have all been answered, as I can see. Next step wise, hopefully there's going to be some next steps you can do. Pop them in the chat if you know something that you're going to do next. Right. One of the next steps should definitely be to check out the new Google for Small Business website. That's your one-stop shop to find the right tools and resources for your business. So that can be the step-by-step online success guide, the digital toolkit, and there's also tips on there for dealing with the changing COVID-19 situation. You can learn how to show up on Google, create or improve your website, reach more customers, build loyalty, and work effectively from anywhere. Amy, I'm sure, has already shared that link, or you can grab the link from the description box as well, or go to google.com/small businesses. I mentioned at the beginning of the session, if you're interested in more training from Google Digital Garage, there's a few ways. We're running one more Google Digital Garage webinar in collaboration with the Irish SME Association. So if you want to check out that or watch our past webinars, see the information on that in the description below. If you want to share your experiences on social media, tell your friends, family, and colleagues about these webinars, please use the hashtag Digital Garage. If you want to carry on learning in your own time, check out the Google Digital Garage website. There are more online training courses which are there available for you 24/7. Finally, if you've got any feedback from today's session, please complete the feedback form. That's also linked down in the description box. And when you complete that feedback form, a link will appear for you can download today's content. So get some of those detail off those slides. You can also rewatch today's session on the ISME YouTube channel. Okay, apologies, just run over. Thank you so much for joining today. Thank you to Amy for being our wonderful moderator and keep everything moving. We both look forward to welcome you again to another Google Digital Garage training session sometime soon. I hope you have a lovely day.